All of these things I did and I've been doing, and they help me achieve the results. That the results are there for you guys to see. If there is any more that you think I could add to this, drop them in the comments below. Let someone else learn from us. I believe that like what we're doing here is to make tomorrow's Ganabakweku, be able to do the same thing that we're doing today a little easier, right? Navigate, this building process, especially building from afar, a little easier. Welcome to Ganabakweku. Get ready to join me on an exhilarating adventure as I embark on the journey of building what I hope will be a masterpiece I will enjoy living in right here in Ghana, all while living in the diaspora. I'm sharing every twist, turn, triumph, and challenge along the way. Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay in the loop with my latest updates. Let's dive into this journey together. Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric Ganabakweku. As you guys know, I just came back from Ghana to install my windows, and a lot of people, have reached out since I've been back, and one question keeps coming up: how did you do as much as you did in such a short time? So I wanted to take the opportunity today to make this video to kind of give what I did, right, and how I was able to pull off the feat that I did in such a short time. And what I've done is I've written down what was done, like the work that went through it, or the work that went into it before the trip, and how I was able to manage to get what I did done because of this list of things that I've put down. And because I don't want it to be I don't want to forget things, what I've done is I've put them down as I showed earlier. I've put them in like bullet form, so I can essentially look at a bullet and be able to go off the cuff based on bullet. Now, okay, so let's get into it. To be able to do what I did, be able to install as many windows as we had to install and all the extra work in 2 weeks, the first thing I will encourage everyone does, especially if you're building from abroad, is to embrace technology. Without it, it's impossible to do what we do from afar, right? Embrace technology, but don't just stop at using it as a conversation tool. Also use it as for planning and everything like that. If you have to, use technology to create WhatsApp groups, right? I'm pretty sure we all have WhatsApp groups on our phones, and sometimes the noise from those groups are ridiculous, but why not use the same feature, right, to your advantage by getting, for example, the foreman and an artisan into a group so you can talk in the same space as if you're on site, standing face to face with each other and talking, right? That's the alternative to it. But embrace technology. Now, how did I use that on this particular mission to install my windows? I originally had a group that I was going to go with, a team of artisans that I was going to go with for my window install. It ended up falling through, but initially what we did was use WhatsApp to communicate back and forth until communication fell apart. So I ended up going with Johnny as a backup. So with Johnny, the technology sense, I reached out to him on WhatsApp. He didn't pick up, but because I was pressed for time and I needed to know what I needed before I ended up embarking on the trip, I left him a voice note on WhatsApp. He finally got to see it later because when I tried to call, it didn't go through, and then when I sent a voice note, it didn't deliver. It was just a one tick, which probably meant he was out of coverage area or something to that regard. So once he got the message, he ended up returning my call and we talked. I told him what I had in mind. After the conversation, I sent him videos of the windows being delivered to site. I also sent him installation tips videos that the factory had sent to me. In essence, getting them, and I did that so that he would have ample time to quote unquote do his homework before I showed up. right? And that helped me be able to pass on information that I wouldn't have been able to pass on otherwise. So embrace technology. That's my first thing that I did, making sure that I use technology to help me bridge the gap, the information gap between myself and Johnny, because I knew what windows we had, he didn't, right? And if I could prevent or if I could avoid him having to go through the inconvenience of going to site to go look at the windows ahead of time, it would have, it was good if I could do that, and that is exactly what we did. Second one is thorough planning. I plan before I have to plan. So in this particular case, and I know sometimes some people don't like that, but I encourage it, right? Plan and pre-plan your pre-plan, right? So thorough planning went into this trip. One, not only was it going to take me away from my regular work, it was also going to take me away from BCS, right? So I had to plan and realign some of the responsibilities, that I would normally take on, to the other directors, right? Alex and Sarah, thank you so much for everything you did in my absence. You guys held everything together. I'm amazed that, because of you guys, I could ignore, email and WhatsApp for a little bit, or redirect to you guys while I focus on, solving the problems that I solved. So thorough planning is important. Plan, I planned everything. I even planned how each day was going to go, right? In my mind, it didn't go that way because of everything that happened. And I'll, if you haven't watched the videos, I will put them, I believe, up here. A link to some of the videos that I took when I went to install the videos. Windows, so you can get a sense of what I'm talking about. But the idea was I had every day planned, right, for the 2 weeks that I was going to be there, and the planning, part of the planning involved letting the artisans know what I expected of them. Another part of the plan was to get all the artisans that I would need, right, all informed and all on the same page. The foreman had to be there. Johnny and his crew had to be there. I also had a few other people, like the electrician, and the security, the CCTV guy was also there, right? So I did that planning because I knew I didn't have time. So I got them all on, so they showed up on the first day, and everyone who could wrap up what I needed from them on the first day, didn't have to bother, and everyone else stayed. In doing that, I basically made it so that once we shifted gear into really doing work, there were no interruptions, right? Because I didn't want a situation where maybe I'm, supervising something that is being done with the windows, and then the electrician shows up, and then my attention moves away from there, right? That is where problems happen. So I planned everything, made sure the days were all lined up. Some things didn't go as planned, but at least having a plan that doesn't work all the way through is better than having no plan at all, right? So thorough planning is important. Research artisans, as I mentioned earlier, I was supposed to be going with another crew. We ended up not using them. I had to research other people. I'd seen Johnny's videos. I've heard him, talk to Kojo Black. Thanks for the connect, Kojo Black. So I kind of knew his work, and I liked his personality. What I saw on camera was actually exactly the way he is in person. He's very down to earth. We had good communications. Even before I got to Ghana, we built a good rapport, right? Because I think it's necessary. If you build all those things ahead of time, then there's no nervous situation once you get there and the work can be done, right? So artisan research is important. And, even when I went with Johnny, I also had to basically have an escape hatch, right? What if something happens and Johnny cannot show up, right? So for something like that, I had a backup through my foreman that in case I couldn't get my preferred, we have someone who will pick up the slack, right? Or who will take over, right? We didn't have to use that. So I'm thankful for that. Johnny Jehovah Jireh, Johnny, Ben, Peter, Abeku, Joe, I think. I forgot some of the names. But yeah, I've mentioned, all of you guys, thank you so much for everything you do. I appreciate you guys. I can't wait to see you guys again. By the way, if you want to come for windows through us and you need measurement, please reach out. Send me an email at buildconnectsolutions@gmail.com. I've talked to Johnny and his crew, and what we're doing is, if to prevent the problems that I had in my window measurement process, we want to be part of, we want to help anyone who needs our help, right, for measurements. Johnny knows exactly what we need, and we'll be able to, come to your site and measure stuff for you. And essentially, if you need that, just, reach out to me. I'll line up Johnny, right? He's essentially our partner now in that regard. And we can use him to come and measure for you. That should guarantee you, accurate measurement. At least if it doesn't go right, you can blame us for it. So that's something that you can use. That's an additional service that BCS is willing to offer if you want it. Let me see what else. Number 3 is the research part, the artisan's research part. Number 4 is be stern, in your timelines. And like, especially in my case, I didn't have wiggle room, right? I went away for 2 weeks. So if I didn't finish the work in 2 weeks, then I'm in trouble, right? So I made sure that I had the timelines lined up. I talked to Johnny, asked them, hey, this many windows, how many, right? And we played it as safe as we could, because we didn't know what wrinkles would have been there. But I knew that if everything went according to plan, right, and I was there to show them what window goes where, we wouldn't have to, go the whole 2 weeks. But it was a good buffer, right? And I also had to make sure that they knew that I didn't have wiggle room. So one thing that I did was, when I was going to go, I got to Ghana on a Saturday, and because I knew I was going to get in on a Saturday evening, I even asked Johnny if they could come and start work on the Sunday, the day after. They pushed back, and I'm glad they did, because I was so tired. So I'm glad they did. But then I also, because of timelines, I insisted that they stayed on premise once they started the work, right? Because the commute was going to be an issue. So I got them to, commit to that. Thank you, Johnny, for your flexibility on that. Right. So now that's number 4, be stern on timelines. Number 5, trust but verify. Trust that the people who say they're going to do something for you will do it. And the way I go about that is by doing, soft knocks every so often. I plan ahead of time, right? I pre-plan by pre-plan, right? That's by nature, that's what I do, right? So once I had Johnny lined up, every once in a while I'll check in with him, right? Every once in a while I'll check in with him to make sure we're good, right? And then I ended up buying some, so anything that I did in regards to the windows, I'll let Johnny know. For example, I ended up buying some sealants. I'll insert a picture, on screen. Thank you, BCJ, you know who you are, for, you recommending this product, even though we didn't end up using it. So I went to Ghana with it, and I let Johnny know I was bringing it, that, it was, highly recommended to me, and I was bringing my own, canisters from here. And then all I needed from him to bring was the gun for it, right? So that was one of the places where I was able to touch base with Johnny. I trusted that he would do the work after we talked, but I needed to, every once in a while check temperature. Every once in a while check temperature. So if I needed to, divert, I'll divert, right? But even after getting to Ghana, you have to trust that the people say they're going to show up, right? For example, if someone tells you, hey, tomorrow I'm bringing this other person to come and do da-da-da-da, right? The evening before, do a soft check. Hey, tomorrow, what time are we meeting aside? Okay, okay, so you're gonna bring this person, right? Like something like that, just to make sure that you're keeping them in check. We are all busy. We might end up forgetting, right? So it's always good to, trust that they will do it, but also, in a coy way, remind them, right? It was very, very, valuable on the trip that I went on. All the problems that I had. Imagine if I didn't have all these things planned the way I had them documented, it probably would have been, mayhem. And and I like all the compliments about how level-headed I was, while talking to the architect. At that point, my anger had, you know, basically been, had been subdued by my own, um, my own, encouragement to self to not dwell in the place of anger for too long, because I knew I only had 2 weeks, and if I dwell in that space for way too long, then nothing productive was going to come out of the trip. So I'm glad I did that. I was angry on the Monday night, and I basically went through the motions, being angry. I got home from site, you know, um, I took a shower, ate dinner, complained to my cousin, went and sat on the balcony to catch some fresh air. And at that point, I just switched to what am I going to do? Because whether I liked it or not, Tuesday was around the corner, and I had to have a plan for Tuesday, right? I have Johnny and Cole waiting for me on site to go, take the next day run, and the next day, and implement what we're going to do. So I had to have a plan. So I switched to solution finding mode, and as you guys saw, we ended up with a solution, and I'm very, very happy with the solution. Right? Disappointment, yes, it was there, but I'm happy with the solution that we ended up with. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Francis, and everyone else who, kind of like held me together in that moment. I appreciate every single one of you. I don't think I could have done it without you, so thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, Mrs. A, thank you so much for your encouragement from afar too. I appreciate that. You kept me calm in the process when we talked. Reminding me that this building process is not going to be easy. So that was good. I appreciate you. Let me see. Okay, so number 6, last but not the least, foster a positive relationship. And that is key. It's kind of funny that, on the day that I'm making this video about this, I'm relying on a trait that my father instilled in me, even without trying. It was just who he was, so I learned it. I've been able to use it, even though he's no longer here. Today would have been my dad's 83rd birthday. I dressed like this today in honor of him. Happy birthday, Daddy, wherever you are. Thank you for everything you did for me. I really, really appreciate you. I wish you were here to see what I'm doing. But I love you. I really do miss you. But anyway, foster a positive relationship. And this is twofold. For me, the way to do that is to show the people that even though I'm the one giving you the job, I'm not much bigger than you, right? I work for someone else, right? So if someone else is doing work for me, I cannot feel like I'm too big, right? So I go through everything that I do. I'm hands-on. If you need my help to carry, blocks, I'll do it. Whatever help you need from me, I'll chip in. But there's a line, right? And just make sure that I set the line, by not telling you, but by showing you that there are some things that I will not do to you, so I don't expect you to do to me, right? Timeliness is one. We can joke, but there's a limit, right? When we're busy, we're working. When we take a break, I'll goof with you, but once the goofing stops and we start work, we're working, right? That's very, very important. Now, the second part, which is for this the two part of the second prong here of fostering a positive relationship is by making sure that you are in communication with the people all the way through. Um, be relatable, right? And as they're doing work, be there, ask questions. Don't make it seem like you know their work, because you probably don't, right? You might have researched some things that you want. I would say don't take no for an answer if you know for sure that's what you want, but be willing to listen to them. And if you are willing to listen to, like, they'll be willing to listen to you if you've already fostered a good relationship with them, right? But with that said, just remember, some people might try to take it too far. You have to know when to tell, like, to nip it, right? If you don't, it'll get out of hand, right? I'm goofy when I need to be. I'm stern when I need to be. Find a good mix and you'll be good, right? Anyway, so yeah, those are, the 6 things that I think helped me be able to achieve the feat that I did in as short a time as I had, with all the problems that I had during the window installation and all the extras that we did. Number 1, embrace technology. Number 2, thorough planning. Number 3, researching artisans. Number 4, being stern on timelines. Number 5, trusting but verifying. And number 6, fostering a positive relationship. All of these things I did and I've been doing, and they help me achieve the results that the results are there for you guys to see. If there is any more that you think I could add to this, drop them in the comments below. Let someone else learn from us. I believe that, like, what we're doing here is to make tomorrow's Ganabakweku, be able to do the same thing that we're doing today a little easier, right? Navigate, this building process, especially building from afar, a little easier. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'm pleading with you, please do me a favor, subscribe, hit the like button on this video, share it with other people, and then when you're done, come back to the channel, toggle off post notifications, so that when I drop new content, you'll be one of the first to be notified. If you want any help with BCS, if there's anything that we can help you with, do me a favor, contact BCS, Build Connect Solutions, at buildconnectsolutions@gmail.com, buildconnectsolutions@gmail.com, and let us know how we can help you, right? We've helped a lot of people. There are some people who've already, as you guys have already seen, installed their product already. Some have already taken delivery of them, I haven't installed yet. We have some who are in the process of, finishing their quotes. Some in the process of getting measurements done or waiting on us to get measurements done. Some we are waiting on to finish their payments. Some have paid and we're waiting on production. So we have people in every step of the way. Some are waiting for their shipments, right? For every single person who's come through us, myself, Sarah and Alex, we say thank you so much for trusting in us. If there is anything else that we can do to help, in the building process, let us know. I'll be honored one day to be able to come to Ghana and visit every single one of your sites, right? So we can see what we helped you acquire and install in effect, right? Once again, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you. God bless.